Hey there, good morning. It's Sandra here at Huron Ridge. Thank you for joining me in the greenhouse. This morning I'm going to talk to you about planting onions and getting ready for seeding your garden. Hey there, it's Sandra. Thanks for joining me on this wintry morning. You're going to have to forgive me for not being too sad about the snow. I'm an avid cross-country skier as well, so seeing some more fluffy stuff coming down doesn't make me sad one bit, especially because I get to hang out in this really awesome greenhouse. So I've got kind of the best of both worlds, I guess. So, like I said, today I'm going to talk to you about starting some seeds. The only thing you can be starting this early is onions from seed. And that would be the kind of onions that you're going to either store or cut up and use as a cooking onion or a Spanish onion. I'm not talking about like the green bunching onions. I'm talking about like an onion that you're going to grow to a globe size. So I'm going to talk about seeding those this morning and just some other general preparation stuff you can be doing to get ready for seeding your garden. If you're tuning in this morning, please give me a wave or say hi. If you have any questions, you can mention them in the comments. You can see I've got my laptop set up right here. So I can see your comments when they come in, which is really kind of cool. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them in real time. Yeah, and if not, I'll catch you in the replays and I can answer them in the comments. But like I said, I'd love it if you would just give me a little wave or a thumbs up so I know you're watching, and we'll get started. So first thing that I want to mention is the thing that makes me crazy is I'll watch a video and they have all these great suggestions of things I can use and recycle right after my recycling has gone out and I don't have it anymore. So I thought I'm going to talk to you preemptively because even though it's not really time to be doing a lot of seeding, now's the time you can start collecting things for seeding. So one of my favorite things to grow seedlings in are these little boxes that you get spinach or loose leaf lettuce in. These are fantastic little incubators for baby seeds. So, and the other thing that's really cool about them, particularly this size, is you can generally cut down an egg crate that holds 12.5 eggs. And if you just trim the edges here and here, they fit right in there. They're biodegradable. It's just awesome. And then you can close the lid and it creates a little greenhouse essentially. And it also gives you, it's 12.5, so there's 18 little seed pods in there that you can grow in quite a small space. I think the biggest challenge for those of us who are starting seeds at home is having enough sunlight and warmth to grow them without adding any artificial grow lights. Certainly grow lights are a great option if you want to go to that length and investment. Super great. But this gives you a way to start 18 baby plants in a relatively small space. And again, if you've got a grow mat or anything like that, it allows you to stack them closer together and make the best use of your space. So if you buy spinach or lettuce or anything like that, start saving your plastic domes and start eating more eggs. 12.5 in a week would be great so that you can collect these egg trays. Other things that you can use for starting seedlings if you want to use some recycling products. I'm just going to set these down here. I've seen tons of videos on this, so I'm not going to go into it, just YouTube it. How to make a pot out of newsprint. And I just made a couple up here real quick. They don't sit very flat, which is my complaint about them, at least not when they're not full of soil. I'm sure if you got some soil in there and got some like damp soil in there, it would weight it down. The other thing that I often see people do is they'll stack them. They'll stack them together. I'm not sure if that's coming up on my screen. Are you guys seeing that notification? Can somebody tell me in the comments? I thought I had my video set right. It's coming up on my iPhone. That's the issue. Sorry about that. If you got that notification, hopefully those are done. Okay, so little pots like this, they work great. So the next thing I'm going to talk to, we also can, of course you can buy pots, no problem. That's not an issue. We sell these little economy pots, no big deal. But this morning, like I said, I'm going to plant some onion seeds. So I've got my packet of seeds. I put them in my back pocket so I don't misplace them. Hold on a second here. Give me 1 minute. Okay, I have them folded really shut here. So these are ruby red Spanish onions. And you can see they're treated seeds, so they're showing up blue here in my hand. And that's about how many I'm going to plant in one pot. Because onions, you separate them when you plant them in the garden. So I don't plant one in each little seed pod the way I would for tomatoes or peppers. I'm going to plant these all together. They're going to grow kind of intertwined, and then I'm going to pull them apart as I plant them in my garden. Okay, so all I'm going to do, I'm actually put these back in for 1 second because I'm going to get my soil ready. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is seeding mix. we sell a seeding mix here in bags, and this is honestly, this is the stuff that we seed our own plants in. So we get it out of our big giant bales and we put it into these small bags for you. I'm just going to show you a little bit here what that seeding mix looks like. Oh, hold on. I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties today. Here, that should show you. So there's our seeding mix. It's really light and fluffy. And it's perfect for seeding because it allows those seeds to germinate and sprout through, and it makes for a nice, easy soil for them to grow in. So definitely seeding mix is something to consider for most seeds. The other thing that it makes it a little bit easier is watering is a bit tricky when you've freshly seeded something because you don't want to like drown it with water with a watering can. So I always recommend before you're going to seed is if you would wet your soil before you put it in your container. And it might get a bit messy here, so just bear with me. Okay, so I'm going to mix that up. And I'm just going to fill my pot with previously moistened soil. It's just going to be easier than trying to saturate that later. Okay, now I'm going to make it almost full, especially for onions. They don't get planted deep. They just are going to get a little dusting of soil over the top afterwards. So I'm going to make that pretty much as full as I want because, like I said, I'm just going to add a little bit after. So I want to leave a little bit of room. Okay, but my pot is like actually probably about 90% full. Okay, and then I'm just going to sprinkle my onions on. Now, when we're doing them here, we do a couple good pinches. What's a couple good pinches? There's probably 20 seeds in there. And I'm just going to sprinkle them evenly over the soil. And then I'm just going to put a light layer of soil on top of that. Now, somebody asked me if you can use vermiculite. Of course you can. But I would still put a layer of soil first, and just like a little bit, okay? You're gonna have an easier time if you sprinkle dry soil than if you try to sprinkle wet soil, because it's just easier. Very, very light covering, and you're gonna need to water that with a mister, because if you just like pour water on it, the seeds are gonna go everywhere. So watering is probably a bigger challenge when it comes to seedlings, which brings me to one of the questions that somebody had asked, and that was, do you fertilize baby seedlings? And if so, with what and how concentrated? So I talked to Kevin, who does all of our growing here, and he said the most important thing is that you get a fertilizer that has a low middle number. So all fertilizers have numbers on them. This one is 1555. Now it's marketed as orchid fertilizer, which because it's got the right formulation for orchids. That does not mean you can only use it for orchids, but those numbers tell you that it is good for orchids. It's also going to be good. The important part for baby seedlings is that you want to have a low middle number, which is the phosphorus number. The phosphorus, if you give it to baby seedlings, is going to make them stretch and grow. So you want to have a low middle number, and that will help your seedlings. You're also going to dilute it. So when they're very young, very small seedlings, I would say mix it at a quarter strength to whatever the recommendation is on the package. Once they get a little bigger, you can go to half strength, but you only need to do that maybe once a week or so. You don't want to over fertilize them, okay? At home, I generally mist my plants with just a hand spray bottle. Here in the greenhouse, we have watering nozzles that are misting nozzles, but it is important, like I said, that you don't just drench it. And that's part of the reason also why I like these little green domes. Now, I don't think you can fit a pot in here, which is part of the reason why you have to use something else. They're not tall enough for a pot. But the whole idea is that when you seal this lid, it helps hold that moisture in there, which eliminates your need to water so much. So that's a really great thing about these little domes. Now, I had a couple of things I was going to tell you about seeding. Oh, on our website. So I've told you this before, but I'm going to show you one more time because I think a few people missed it last time. So on our website, if I can, hopefully I don't have any more technical difficulties. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry about that, folks. You think it should be easy. Okay, share screen. Let's go here. Okay, there is the planting guide on our website. So if you go to our website, there's a tab at the top here that's info. And if you go down there, there is a link to this planting guide. And if you click over on, there's a spot here where it says click here for a printable PDF. You can also do that, no problem. And it'll take you to a printable version that you can just print off on your home printer. And you'll see here, it does say onions you can do in late February. There's a few other herbs that you could be seeding now if you wanted to. But the next thing you're going to do after onions is your peppers. And I would wait 2 weeks to do those. It's a little early yet. And then kind of 2 weeks after that, you can start your tomatoes. So that kind of gives you some ideas as far as timing goes. Other than that, we do have our seed racks in one seed rack, one seed company. See, we've got multiple racks from one company, and we're getting another lineup in probably about 2 or 3 weeks. We're hoping it'll arrive from BC. We've got West Coast seeds coming in, so that's kind of fun, something new and exciting. And the really cool news is, as all goes well and things stay the same, we will be allowed to open next week. So we're going to be opening to the public starting on Tuesday next week. See our website for hours and details. But I believe we're going to be open 10 till 5 Monday to Friday and 10 till 3 on Saturday. But again, see the website for details. Once we're open, we're going to be turning off our online store. So we don't need to have both. Just give me 1 second here. I'm going to go back to my camera. 1 second. There we go. So we're working on improving. We're working at putting our retail section together because this is new. This whole retail area that you can see all these beautiful green plants behind me, this is new for us this year. This building didn't exist last year. Everything was over in number 1 greenhouse, which is still going to be our main retail space that you'll be shopping out of in the spring. Right now, this new retail area is warmer though, so we have all of our tropical plants hiding in here. So when you're looking for house plants next week, you'll be shopping in our new retail area. When you're here to get pansies and primula, they're colder growing, so they're over in our cooler greenhouse. So that's the nice part is we can have 2 temperature zones. Primula and pansies like to grow cooler, so we got to keep them out of this really warm tropical area. Now we're hoping next week the sun will shine again because yesterday it was amazing in here. I think it got up to about 85 degrees inside the greenhouse. I'm not good at converting Celsius to Fahrenheit. So it was like 20 something, 25 maybe, I don't know. But we actually had to open the roof because it got so warm in here yesterday. So hopefully the sun will be out next week and you can come and enjoy that too. We're really hoping that we can share some breath of fresh air and spring with people. I know we're feeling a little cooped up and it feels like winter's been long, but we're working on bringing you some hope for spring. And other than that, like I said, if you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And I will be doing another live video at some point next week. I think I'm going to try to stick to Thursdays. So you'll see it you'll see an announcement about it, but plan for probably next Thursday we'll do another live video. So if you've got any questions, by all means, hit me up and I'll do my best to answer them then. Thanks, folks. Bye for now.